Well, we go to looking around in the greenhouse here, and what do we find? We find one of our little creatures living down inside the pineapple plant here. He's enjoying it. There's water down in there. He stays moist, and he comes out at night and hunts insects. One of the beneficiaries of a greenhouse. Good evening, everybody. This is Danny from the Deep South Homestead again. Right here at our high tunnel greenhouse. Guys, it's that time of the year, you know. I mean, we're in the very heat of the summer here in Deep South. 105, 106 degree heat index every day. And guys, the greenhouse is still just Cadillacing. Everybody was wondering, how is the greenhouse going to do in the extreme heat of the South? Well, so far, it's doing okay. Now, it's time that we down some things in the greenhouse and just get rid of it, because that's what you do when it gets to be in the extreme heat. There's some things that's just not made for that. But now, there are some things in here that's still Cadillacing. We've got pepper plants that's just now really doing good. We've got okra that's really doing good. A lot of other things in here is just really coming on and really producing, but now we did take out a lot of things. Things like the Malabar spinach, we kind of took all that out because it's just taken over. The petunias, the flowers that were in here, we took all that out of here. They dropped seeds in the beds. They're going to be coming back. We're almost positive of that. And other plants that were in here that just weren't doing as good, we got rid of all that. And we're transitioning, guys, into the fall. Now, we still have probably a whole nother month to go through before we actually begin the fall crops. Now, the fall crops are actually going to be in Miss Wanda's greenhouse on the other end. This one, like we've talked about in previous videos, would be strictly for cool weather stuff. Now, some things that are cool weather stuff, we've already started in here, and when we get to that point, we'll show you them. But first, it's time to do a little harvesting in the greenhouse and give you a little bit of a view of what we have going on. First, we have a couple of okras right here. Now, this is a jambalaya okra when we come in the door here. We harvest this probably every other day. And this greenhouse, this okra loves the greenhouse. Now, it doesn't get as vibrant and robust as a lot of other okras do, but hey, the greenhouse with me and Wanda is all about eating fresh on a daily basis. And we come out here and we look. I want you to look at all the baby bell peppers in here. Look at this. There's one there. There's one up under in yonder. Up in here. Another little one's here. Guys, all back here. Look at all the new little bell peppers hanging on there. You just can't slow these plants down. They just keep going. And then here's one here. The way I test them, I mash on them. Used to when I picked commercially and growed commercially, they want about a 1/4 inch thick membrane on a bell pepper. Doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as the membrane's a 1/4 inch thick. It doesn't matter about the size, but this one's a good thick hard one. When I mash in on it, it's hard, it's thick, so it's time for it to come out. And I'm just looking up in here at the new bell peppers coming on in here. I mean to tell you, these plants are, and then I get down here, I haven't really decided this pepper here if this was a red roaster or a yellow Marconi or what it actually is. It resembles a red roaster. It doesn't resemble the Marconi. But guys, look at this. Look how tall I am. I'm 6'3" tall, and look at this. That's an 8-foot stake width yonder. This pepper is actively headed toward the top of that 8-foot stake. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and harvest these because we love the peppers here. We put peppers in everything. From omelets to soups and everything else. I mean, we're strictly always using peppers, and they're up in here. I mean, they're beautiful. Just literally beautiful. I mean, look at that. You can't ask for nothing any prettier than that. I mean, that is God's bounty. It is just gorgeous. Right beside it, now these peppers are, the bottom leaves have all about died off of them, but the top is coming back out. and it's actually starting to bloom again. Now we have some we leave on here. These are the red roasters. Now they didn't get as big as they normally do. It's probably my fault. I've been so busy with the ponds and the piers and fencing and stuff like that. I haven't kept the fertilizer to them like I should. But guys, we're using them nonetheless. We're just trying to get them off of here. And having some nice peppers here to add to stuff. We're just going to keep picking these little peppers around through here. Now the smaller ones I'm leaving because they will get a little size to them. We got some, every now and then you'll find a bad one here like this. This one here is kind of bad. We're probably going to get rid of it. You have that every so often, but the leaves are starting to die on them. And this pepper here, we're learning, may not be the best pepper for the greenhouse because we've had a few issues with it. But the bell peppers on the other side and the Marconi or whatever that is, now it seems to be doing fine. These have had no issues whatsoever. This is our Freedom blackberries. Now we had pruned them back here about a week ago, and look at here. All this new growth popping out everywhere. I mean, guys, you can't say nothing about it. I mean, it's really coming on. More berries. Now, next is the peach trees. Now, these are dwarf peach trees. I got to come in and do a little pruning. I kind of want to shape them up a little bit better than what they are. They got leaves and limbs coming out on them everywhere. I'm probably going to cut all the lower ones off and just leave a few up in the top and kind of get the shape that I want. And we're going to get them to going. I think that'll be perfect. Now, look at this basil here. This is that green basil, a Genovese basil. Guys, this is some kind of pretty. Nothing like fresh tomatoes and basil and all that mixed together. Got a little cilantro, parsley there. Now the heat's kind of affecting the parsley a little bit. And this Wanda's got a carrot here. It looked like some kind of insect had got in here and kind of eat the tops off of some of it. But it's starting to come back out again. And then right beside it there is some more jambalaya okra that was stuck in here. Got some nice pods on it. All it takes to eat fresh is just to have a few things like this here to add into your meals. That's what we're trying to teach people about greenhouses and high tunnels. You don't have to have it necessarily to can from, but if you can have, like, we were at 1, 2, 3. This is already the third pod. Here we got number 4. Here's number 5 sitting right here. You know, if you can come up with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pods of okra, and you got a few peas or butter beans or something like that, you can throw them in with it, guys. I mean, this accents a meal. And that's what we're trying to figure out here with the greenhouses, is how to accent our food. And okra is probably one of the most healthy foods you can eat for your body. Now, we're not through. We come on back here, we still got more. I mean, guys, look at these plants. These plants are just literally beautiful here in this greenhouse. I mean, they are just gorgeous. The color is good. They're branching out like they're supposed to. And look at that. Perfect to add to the meals in the house now. Now let's back up here and look at this. Look at these banana peppers here. I want y'all to look at that. They are literally outdoing themselves. They have too many peppers on them here. They're not getting to any size. So what we've got to do is we've literally just got to take some of them off. I mean, and it's best to clip them off if you have something. I just don't have it with me right now. But I'm going to pick the bigger ones and try to get them off of here and leave the littler ones. We actually need, probably need a little fertilizer put to these. Man, you just got to take a little pressure off the plant. It's just got too many. That's the thing about greenhouses. Guys, plants can outdo themselves so fast in here. because they're not competing with insects and the harsh environments outside. They've actually got a really good environment in here. And these things are literally doing awesome. And you're probably asking me, how do I know which ones of them to pick? Well, I look at the tops of them, and the tops have a kind of a bright yellow. See how that top is taking on a real bright yellow look to it? That tells me they're pretty mature, even if they don't have a lot of big size to them. And guys, when you cut them up in little pieces, it don't matter anyway. They don't have to be no big old fine. And them peppers aren't that little. I mean, they're okay. I've grown a lot larger. And like I said, this is probably a lot to do with my fault for not being out here constantly keeping the fertilizer. Now, they get water all the time, but I'm pretty sure that the fertilizer is lacking just a little bit. I can look at them and tell. But man, I mean, it's all the plants. It ain't just them few. Okay, guys, we've come to our peach trees here. Now, these are the Dwarf peach trees. These are the Empress we got from Grower Solutions. We harvested peaches off of them. You see the leaves are starting to turn on them. That's perfectly normal. It's getting to be later in the year now. And the leaves, we come in here every so often. We take them off and we just drop them down, take the blower and blow them out. This is a natural event for the peach tree. Probably next we're going to see some new growth take off and going up a little bit higher. Now when it gets up to the pipes up here, we'll probably cut the top out of it because we don't want it to go much higher than that. And then we'll let it start branching out. And then we come down, we have our Owari Satsumas. Now they're still doing really good. Look at the size of some of them things, guys. Isn't that pretty? Things, look at that. Big as a tennis ball. I love it. And down here we have our Dwarf lemon tree. Now this is the one we didn't know if it was going to make it or not. But we got rid of the grasshopper because he was eating the leaves off of it a little bit here. And now it's finally starting to put some leaves on. This is a Dwarf Meyer lemon. So we're anxiously awaiting to see how it does. And of course over here we have our Jersey Supreme asparagus that we got from Grower Solutions. Guys, this Wanda has eaten enough asparagus off of this to fill up a 5-gallon bucket, I believe. And it's still producing and doing well. So we're excited. The Grower Solution did a fantastic job. This was 2-year-old crowns that we got. And in the greenhouse, they've been perfect. Now we have our miniature blueberry here. And this blueberry is really taking off. It's starting to grow good. And look at there, y'all. Here it is. This is the 13th day of August. And there's actually a blueberry on it that's ripe. Let's look at this thing. You know what? I wonder what it tastes like this time of the year. To be honest with you, it's probably sweeter than the ones are earlier in the spring. But look at this. It's still got new blueberries coming out on it everywhere. Right here's blueberries. Right here, I'm quickly learning that growing in a greenhouse is like a tropical environment. These trees never stop producing. That's amazing. And then we come around and look at this. The one thing I didn't think was even ever going to grow is our dwarf banana sent to us by a subscriber. And guys, it has finally decided to start growing. I am so excited. It just needed some heat. That's all it needed. And it's getting the heat now. And it is actually Cadillacing. Time to put a little fertilizer and watch her grow. Now Ms. Wanda came in here and she took out all of the petunias, and there are going to be piles of them come back in here because you can look down here and I see these little flowers that's dropped. That's just got seeds all in it. So they'll come back, keep a pollinator going on for our greenhouse here. The Malabar spinach she took out, it was wrapping around everything in here, got rid of it. We have Malabar spinach everywhere on the property. We've got our strawberries. Now, we thought we was going to lose them to the grazon, but it looks like they're actually going to pull out and start growing. We're really excited about that because we had thought we might have lost them, but it looks like they've put on a bunch of babies and they're all rooting. So maybe this November we're going to try repotting and put some new potting soil in here and everything and see if we can't get these babies Cadillacing.
Very back.
Huh? Now this is row number 2 of pots here. We have our Owari Satsuma on this side. Guys, there's no difference in them. These are big as tennis balls here. They're nice. The little trees hanging in there. It's kind of getting a little weight on it. It's starting to pull it over. I'm probably going to have to do a little better job of staking it up so it don't lean the tree over too bad. Those things are heavy. I might have pollinated a little too many of them on there. And then we have our other Empress peach here. Now this peach here I've got trained pretty good. I've got the shape I want. I've got the open bottom in it here, the open middle. I think this one is going to do really well this coming year. Now it's getting a little heavy, starting to lean a little bit. We're going to take it out of this small pot and we're going to put it in a bigger pot this fall. Once we get all the leaves off of it and it goes dormant, I think that that's probably going to be the best thing to do with it at that point. Now behind us here is our yellow Marconi. These, I told y'all before, came from JM at the Nut House. Miss Jen gave us the seeds for these last year. Guys, these things are amazing. I mean, we have harvested peppers. Here's 2 right here. These things make the most beautiful peppers, I'm telling you. Now these aren't yellow yet. Some of them we picked green like this, but now we have a couple in here that we're letting go to yellow right here. Now these things are, I don't know if we can get it here where we can get a camera in there, but you can kind of get a little bit of a vision there of what they starting to look like. Every so often, Ms. Wanda and I will leave 1 or 2 to go yellow. We'll add it in with our other peppers, and it really adds a lot sweeter flavor. Plus, makes the dish just look beautiful. You know what I mean? With all the colors popping in there. Now these got a few back in here. I'm telling you guys, you just can't beat these Marconis. They are everywhere. These things are growing out here. I'm probably going to tie this up instead of picking these. Matter of fact, I don't know if I can do this or not, but I think I'm going to try. There we go. I'm just going to lay them up in the trellis like that. These limbs are just getting so heavy they're falling down, and I actually see a Malabar spinach that Miss Wanda missed back there. So it isn't going to hurt anything. We'll just let it go. Now this here, I'm guessing, is a marigold.
I forgot there was a tag by it, some type of flower.
Look, it's a flower is all I know.
I forgot.
And she's got her Mundo beans there, and some more flowers back in there. She's just doing a little bit of a test experiment there to see how things are going. And over here we've got our Calamundan orange. Here it's basically a lime tree is all it is, but it's a dwarf. We're anxious to start getting some citrus off of that. Our pineapples have finally started growing. These things have finally got the weather they need to grow. And guys, look at this one right here beside it. And I want you to look at the birth of a new baby pineapple. Look at this. There is nothing in God's creation that's any prettier than the birth of a pineapple. And this plant is evidently going to be a special plant, because if you look over to the side right here, there's actually another plant coming out right beside it right there. And as we look around over here, there's another one right down in here that's starting to come out. This plant's giving birth all over the place, and I'm excited to just see what becomes of this. Now this pineapple here, I mean, to me, that's the most beautiful thing in God's creation. Look at those purples and oranges and yellows, and I mean, look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? God made a beautiful creation when He created the birth of a pineapple. Now we're on the other side here. I can see some of my peppers over here that I couldn't see from the other side. We're going to gradually maybe pick a few of them there that take a little bit more pressure off the plant. I see a couple up in there. Things in a greenhouse, sometimes they just go wild on you. I'm going to set that down. Look at that, boy. Hanging off down there in the middle of the plant. I mean, beautiful banana peppers. You can't ask for a better pepper and a better color than that right there. And over here, I got to get over here and do a little staking up. This one here is starting to get up pretty tall. We done lost a couple of limbs off of these because old Danny ain't done his job. These peppers get so heavy, and I see one right back in here. Look at that beautiful bell pepper right there now. hid up in there. Sometimes these things you just got to get down and look up in them because they blend in so well. Nice harvest there, guys. And then of course we got our other Calamandan orange here. And we evidently still got a grasshopper in here somewhere. He comes out at night and chews on the leaves a little bit. I keep looking for him. And then we got our Meyer lemon. This thing has bloomed I don't know how many times this summer. And we try to keep it from getting too many blooms on it because we won't want it to overdo itself. But guys, look at these oranges. I mean lemons. They're hanging everywhere. I mean literally lemons everywhere. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. With COVID-19 going on, you better be thinking about something to do with citrus. That's why we have these, because you need your vitamin C's from your citrus trees this fall. We've got orange trees outside out here that's loaded with oranges. We got our lemons for vitamin C. We got our tangerines or tangelos back there, satsumas, all that stuff. We got all this for vitamin C. This is one of the things you need during your winter months. Now, let's look in here. I'm not going to pick it, but I want you guys to look at this. Look at this. This is a purple bell pepper. We're letting it turn purple to add with our other peppers. This is a Merlot bell pepper because we love the pepper colors to go in there with them. Now, next what we have here, now this is a winter crop. We told you we had some winter things already started. These are the old-fashioned multiplying onions here. Miss Wanda stuck these in ahead of me here the other day, and we got 4 or 5 of them on the back that's doing really good. I came back and put a row of them down the outside of each side of this bed here on purpose because I'm going to come back this fall and we're going to put broccolis in between this, and the onions should help with the insects on the broccolis. Now, I mentioned a while ago we had a creature that's been eating our citrus trees. Well, I just saw him down here. He's in here. And I'll probably never catch him, but I don't know where he went.
Right there on the screen.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Whenever you see them citrus trees eat like that, here's your culprit right here. These grasshoppers. They get in these greenhouses, they love citrus leaves. So when your citrus leaves are eaten, go to looking. They're here. I knew there was one in here. You just got to try to find them. Let's get him out the door. Okay. Here we got one more of our peach trees. Now this is a dwarf. This is the Red Haven. When we got this tree, it was actually summer had already started. That tree wasn't any bigger than this limb right here. It was a stick. Now I want you to look at it now. That tree's done growed up here, this big. Hopefully this coming year, it's going to have peaches on it. So guys, when you're growing in a greenhouse and you create a tropical environment inside these things, these trees literally Cadillac. So, okay guys, let me explain a little bit about this. Greenhouses don't just happen. They, oh, I got an insect, oh, a moth on me, okay. This one was pointing at me behind the camera going, I was like, greenhouses don't just happen. They have an ecosystem in them just like everything outside does, like a pond or anything else. And you don't just go put a plant in a greenhouse and walk off and leave it and it works. That's not the case. Greenhouses create humidity. Humidity creates diseases. I mean, diseases take over in greenhouses. Insects take over in greenhouses very rapidly because it creates a perfect environment in here for both disease, insects, and everything. So in order for greenhouses and high tunnels to work efficiently, you've got to have them set up properly. Now here in our greenhouse high tunnel, we have in the very tops of the peak up here, because I didn't want those to be electric, these open based on heat. They have a gel filled cell up there, cylinder, that once that gel gets to a certain temperature in that cylinder, they begin to open and let the heat out of the top because you get what's called a convection down through here. In other words, this thing creates a draft. The cool air comes in the bottom, the hot air rises, and it goes out the top. And as those open up, it creates a draft through the greenhouse here, pulling air in from the bottom and exhausting it out from the top. And in the corners up here, you'll see a little small fan sitting in the corner. It's a 12-inch fan. There's one on this side of the greenhouse blowing in this direction. In the front of the greenhouse over yonder, there's another one sitting over there. And the left-hand side is blowing down the other side of the greenhouse. Now what those do is those create a vortex of air in the top of this greenhouse. And what the purpose of that is to keep the humidity down. Now these, we turn them on mainly in the mornings. We don't leave them on at night. Most of the people want to leave them running 24 hours a day, but we don't do that. We've learned that we can come out here around 6 o'clock in the morning and we can turn these things on and they knock out any humidity in here very quickly because of the amount of air that they move. Now in the very end of the greenhouse up here, you will see an exhaust fan. That exhaust fan is thermostatically controlled. I have it set at 86 degrees. And when the top of this greenhouse reaches 86 degrees, now sometimes it takes it a while to do that because there's an automatic vent opener right above it that is set to open at 82 or 83 degrees. And once that happens, it starts letting the heat out. But once it gets too hot, the fan kicks on and the fan sucks the rest of the air out of here at the top, and we leave the doors open at the bottom during the day. At night we close the entire thing up except for the screened in areas. We leave them open so air can get in at night and cool it down. And guys, our nights have been very cool, and all the way down the sides of our greenhouse, like right through here, this is all screened down through here. From one end of the greenhouse to the other on both sides is screen, and we leave our sides rolled up. We don't let them down. That's mainly for wintertime use. It's not for summertime use. We like the vortex of air coming in from the bottom, cooling this thing off. So we've created an environment in here that's like a tropical oasis. And because we have thermostatically controlled stuff and we have things that actually move air in here and all, it does very well for us. Now at night, we turn all fans off, and except for the thermostatically controlled one. It will run till the greenhouse cools down to 86 degrees in the top, and it's usually cooler than that in the bottom. Then we plug on our bug zapper over here. The bug zapper, any bugs that's left in here from leaving the door open during the day, will go to the bug zapper at night. It zaps the bug. It has a canister on the bottom that actually catches it, and we can take that the next day and take them to the chickens and feed them the fresh insects that's been zapped overnight. So guys, that is a little bit about how we make our greenhouse high tunnel work, because it is a system. It is not something that just happens. You have to work with it. And today, you know, we just walked around the greenhouse here and look. This is what Miss Wanda and I have. And in the bottom of it here, we've got all of our okra and stuff we picked. That's going to go good with some peas or butter beans or something, or just cut it up and fry it, or just eat it by itself. And got these nice fresh peppers here. Look at that. We can cut those up, put them in the freezer, put them in soups, whatever. You know, omelets, anything of that nature. So we're constantly eating off of our greenhouse every day. And guys, that's the whole goal behind having greenhouses, is to be able to keep you some sort of food going 365 days out of the year. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.